What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. And you guys know we had to jump on this topic because everybody else is talking about AI and how AI can improve your business. But today, specifically, we're going to talk about how we actually use AI to get more clients. And I'm going to tell you what I do. I don't know if Jimmy actually uses AI, but I do actually use it for a lot of things and little things that I think can help you get more clients. Jimmy, I mean, I'm sure you've used at this point, it's everywhere, but I'm sure you've used ChatGPT and other AI forms of stuff recently, right?
There's only one. There's only one that I use, and we can get into how Anthony uses it because he uses it a lot more than I do. But there's one that I use, and it's the ever so elusive ad copy on your digital response advertising. Your direct response advertising is what I use. I use Jasper AI. So it's like a writing software that you can plug in, and it can give you some ideas as far as how you want to write your copy and how you want to write blogs and things like that. So that's the one that I use. But AI, Anthony will get into his AI. He's much more into it than I am. But one point on AI is you got to use AI properly, right? You're using it as a tool. It's not just going to do everything for you because it's only as smart as what you give it. So I'm going to kind of not talk too much on this episode because that's the gist of my AI usage. But it has helped me quite a bit with copy for Facebook advertising, because I just launched a recent campaign for our second location, and the copy that is winning out of all the copy that I wrote is the copy that was written by AI. So goes to show that it can definitely help you with language and communication and that kind of thing. So
wait, so talk about this, man. I mean, I never heard you talk. I was gonna say you use Grammarly a lot too, so I think that's AI driven.
I've been using Grammarly since before it was AI, right? Like everything's AI now. But I've been using Grammarly for a long time. I just recently started using it again because one of my employees uses it. He loaded it onto the one of the computers at the gym, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to use Grammarly all the time when I was writing a lot of blog posts for my website. But I don't write the blogs anymore for the website. I have a company that does my SEO and everything now. But when I was writing all the blogs, I used Grammarly a lot because I had a client who was in technical writing and things like that. And she was really well versed in editing and all this stuff. And she had suggested it. And the cool thing about Grammarly is, even though it's AI, it helps you become a better writer over time because of the corrections that it gives you after you're like reading through it. So you have to read through it and check through the corrections that it gives you. As you do that, you realize where the faults are in your writing. So Grammarly and Jasper are the two things that I use for producing written content. So that's the general theme of it. And Grammarly is pretty cool now. It used to just be kind of a general editing software, but they've really come a long way and can change the voice that you write in. They can give you tactics on clarity of your actual sentences, your like body, how you're actually getting to the point that you're trying to make. And they can give you some suggestions just how to reword paragraph sentences and even the entirety of what you're writing to change the voice and change the way in which you're communicating your message better than you would be able to do, and arguably better than an editor could, because you are communicating directly with this software to tell you what to do, as opposed to sending it to an editor, having them edit it, send it back to you, you read through it again. In real time, you're going through it, and the AI component of Grammarly is actually suggesting what to change. When you look at Jasper, that's actually going to produce for you a copy based upon the input that you give it, kind of similar to ChatGPT. but it's designed specifically around that. And Jasper's been around for a while. So it's designed specifically around typing out that copy or that blog post or whatever. And you just give it these suggestions and it'll write an entire paragraph for you of a blog post before you can even come up with it in your mind. So those are cool AI tools that I leverage. I don't leverage much else, but Anthony leverages quite a bit for other aspects of his business. And I'm interested to learn more about it because this is really the first time we have really talked about AI in more detail with each other. So this will be a cool learning experience for both of us and for you guys.
Well, yeah, go back into Jasper, man. I never even heard of Jasper. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never used it. So how did you use it to write better ad copy? Like, how does that work? I never used it, so I don't know.
It's very similar. So what I've never used ChatGPT personally, but it's similar in that way of what I understand ChatGPT to be. So you'll give it a prompt, right? So, you know, the last copy that was written through Jasper was, you know, imagine you're a gym owner that is opening a new location and you have a specific offer, like, so ours is our 28-day jumpstart offer. You have an offer that you want to present to people in this city that are this type of person, and you plug in those metrics and it spits out for you a headline, and you have a selection. So you can select, is it a blog post? Is it this? Is it that? You can select a Facebook image ad or a Facebook video ad, and you can plug it in and it lists out for you what your headline is, what your base copy is, what your description looks like all the aspects of a Facebook ad where you would put text in, and lays out for you what it is. You can also select between medium, long, and short copy. And then if the copy is not quite what you want it to be, select the cursor as to wherever you want it to go on the document and hit compose is their button. And the AI system will write for you more copy and it will expand on what it was already talking about. At a certain point, you keep hitting compose over and over again and it gets kind of muddy. So that's not really the best way to use it. You don't want to just hit compose over and over and over again, because then it kind of starts repeating itself. It starts, you know, not really following the same prompt that you originally gave it. But you can give it different prompts at different points where your cursor is to talk about an additional aspect that you're trying to get it to talk about, and it will start to produce that for you. So it's cool how it lays it out, because it lays it out as this is what each aspect of the Facebook ad is going to look like, and you go from there. So very cool. The copy that we're using from Jasper is the winning copy out of 5 different copy options. One I got from a Facebook advertising agency that I had used in the past. One I had used from a previous ad campaign that was really popular, that had worked really well. And then a couple more I wrote, I originated from my own mind. And right now, the one that's working and that's winning is the AI produced copy.
It's crazy how that works. You know, one of the things, like, and you kind of mentioned this in the beginning, is like with AI is literally a tool. You can't just put a prompt in any of these things and say, hey, make me a Facebook ad, and then just copy and paste whatever it gives you and put it up and think it's going to be the way it is. It's not going to be the best performing one 99% of the time, because you have to be as specific as possible. I always recommend anything that you do with AI, you have to reread it, look it over, add your elements to it, because AI is good. It does have, and I'm going to explain what I use it for and how it can help you in your business and how it can help you get more clients. But you need to be able to understand that it is a tool. It's not at the point where it can just, you know, you just say one thing and it kind of does it without you having to check it. You have to check it, because sometimes you'll put a prompt in and it won't be good. It won't make sense. It doesn't flow right. It's not your flow. It sounds too robotic. So you got to be able to add elements in there and rewrite certain things, but it's definitely a good tool. So the way I use it, so sometimes I get stuck. If a client has to cancel or a client wants to freeze their membership, like they'll send a text that says like, hey, you know, I want to cancel or whatever. I never know what to say to that. Like, we usually just give them a call, but still, it's like, how do you respond to this message? Or if somebody sends like a bad text message or just something that's kind of negative, how do you respond to that message? So I use ChatGPT to prompt responses for me. So I'll explain the situation to ChatGPT. I'll say, hey, I'm a gym owner. I have, this is how we train people. This is how we get people in shape. This is Mary Jane. Mary Jane's been with us for X amount of months. Mary Jane's goal is this. Mary Jane's goal is blah, blah, blah. Mary Jane wants to cancel her membership and she sent me this text message. Write me a response to make her not cancel. And it comes up with great things that I would have never been able to think of to say in a text message, right? Again, you always want to prompt people to a phone call, but usually when someone texts you, you want to kind of send them a text back as well, because technically sometimes they don't answer the phone right away. So by sending them a really nice, well-crafted text message, it goes a long way than just saying like, hey, let's hop on the phone. And you can even tell like ChatGPT, if that's your protocol, like include in there to the next step is to hop on the phone to discuss, potentially canceling. So that's how I use it. And same thing with freezes too. If we don't want someone to go on a freeze or we want to transition them to more like an online program, I'll just prompt ChatGPT to write me a response and suggest that that person goes online. And it comes up with really, really good responses. Again, sometimes you have to monitor it, read it, and make it your own. But that's one way that I use it. Another way that I use it is to add more story elements into things. So let's say I'm trying to promote a fat loss challenge at my gym. So I'm writing an email to my clients. So I'll tell ChatGPT, I'll say, hey, ChatGPT, hey, AI, I own a gym, blah, blah, blah. You give it all the prompts and you say, hey, we're running a fat loss challenge. I need a promotional email that talks about the fat loss challenge, but please include this inspirational story about John, who lost 50 pounds the last fat loss challenge that we did. And it writes a really good story about John. Like it goes in like detail about John and how he overcame stuff. But like the more you give it, the better like the response that you actually get from it. And remember, storytelling is always a really good element to add in any type of copy because people can relate to the story. We talk about TPV stories or third-party verification stories all the time. So like by having ChatGPT write those, it does it in seconds. Like this is the thing. It's like, I just got to give it the facts and it writes like the story and everything in minutes. And if I want to change like the tone of it and I want to say like, okay, make this email a little bit funnier, it does it. So it's wild how fast you could use it, but this is the way like we kind of use it in gyms. I wouldn't have ChatGPT write your program out for you. People have done that. I've seen that before. I wouldn't have it do that, but it's good for adding elements to things that you're already doing. The other thing that I have it do is I'll tell it to like, hey, write me, if I'm stuck on like a title for something, I'll say like, hey, write me 10 contrarian stories about X. And it gives me like bulleted titles. And the cool thing is you could tell it, give me 5 varieties of it. And it spits out a bunch of different varieties. So like when I get stuck or like, I don't want to say writer's block, because it's not really writer's block, but if I get like not creative enough, if I don't feel as creative, I use it to help me be more creative. And it does a really good job at that. The one thing that I can't wait for AI to do is to actually have full-blown conversations with prospects. That I think is going to be cool when that comes out. But as of right now, it doesn't do that. I wouldn't trust it to do that right now anyway. It's not going to be really good. I mean, there's a bunch of things out there that do like booking AI, and I've never tried them, but I'm very, very weary of doing something like that. You need a human person there behind you to do that. But that's how I use AI to grow my business. Because remember, if it helps me stop cancels, if it helps me write promotional emails better, those are things that are gonna. And like Jimmy said, he used it for ad copy. That's another way to use it too. I've never used it for that, but you probably can in a very, very good way. So yeah, that's how you use AI to get more clients. I mean, pretty straightforward. But the more info you give ChatGPT, the better the response is going to be. So don't try to be vague. Try to be as specific as possible. I own a gym in X area for X amount of years. We have X amount of clients. This is how we train people. This is how we get people results. and this is the story. Write me an email based on this. It goes a long way, and it's amazing what it can do. So that's how you use it. But if you guys want help in actually growing your business the right way, just make sure you click those links below. And until next time, Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier, we are out.